Located in front of the historical Tillman Hall, a statue of the founder of Clemson University sits, Thomas Green Clemson. Thomas Clemson was as complex of a man as it gets in his time. He was an engineer, a politician, a Confederate officer, and a slave owner. Yet, his statue displayed to the whole campus does not mention one of these important facts. How could a landmarker on our university's founder not even care to mention important facts such as being the highest-ranked U.S. ambassador in Belgium, or in 1860 being appointed the superintendent of the Agricultural Bureau? Instead of mentioning more of Clemson's intriguing history, the plaque reads, "Born in Philadelphia, July 1st, 1807. Died at Fort Hill, April 6, 1988. Scientist, diplomat, soldier, founder of Clemson College, and benefactor to the sons of his adopted state." All that is written here is not nearly enough to help others understand our founder's truly complex and unique history. As mentioned on the statue, Clemson was born in Philadelphia, where he was raised as a Quaker. In hope of one day entering the military, Clemson decided to attend Norwich University, a military prep school. After completing school, Clemson moved to Paris to further his studies in the field of science. While in Paris, he took part in the Revolution of 1830. After some time in Paris, Clemson moved back to the U.S. Shortly after the move, he married the daughter of former United States Vice President and South Carolina Senator John C. Calhoun. This is where Clemson's life turned a little questionable. Clemson and his wife Anna bought and moved to a plantation where they then purchased 37 slaves to care for their plantation. They even had a slave specifically for their children. The slave slept with a string attached to her hand. If one of the kids needed anything during the night, Anna Clemson would just grab the string that was next to her bed and tug on it to wake the slave up to go care for her children. Why is it that we are not given this information straightforward that Clemson was a slave and plantation owner? That he often bought, sold, and traded slaves for his personal gain. Clemson later wrote of my slavery, "My experience tells me that the institution of slavery is at all times good for the Negro." The university to me is hiding important and questionable information on our founder. This is them avoiding public scrutiny of the university's founder owning slaves. This marker fails to mention an important aspect of Thomas Clemson's life. Furthermore, Clemson became a Confederate soldier during the Civil War. He then became an officer. The marker doesn't even include that he was part of the Civil War, let alone that he was a Confederate officer. This is a controversial fact that is unknown to the population. As I mentioned earlier, Clemson's life is as complex as it comes. The marker fails to do it much justice. He is our great university's founder, and the people should know more about him, the good and the bad.